it all. Be sure to check on the children.
Hello everyone, welcome to Freaky Fridays with me, your host, Skyy Explains It All, and today's first installment of Freaky Fridays, I'm going to highlight one of my favorite movies, May, that was released in the year 2002, and it stars Angela Batiste as the title character May, and if Angela looks familiar, you may have seen her in the made-for-TV film Carrie, where she plays Carrie. It came out in 2002, and she also had a supporting role in the movie Girl Interrupted that starred Angelina Jolie, Winona Ryder, as well as Brittany Murphy. So if she's looking familiar, that's May of where you've seen her. She's definitely a scream queen, but one I feel like that doesn't get highlighted enough, and especially this movie May. So our movie is basically about this young woman named May, and she works as a veterinary assistant at an animal hospital, alongside, of course, the doctor, and alongside the receptionist, Polly, who is also played by Anna Faris. So Polly is, just to let you guys know, Polly obviously has like a thing for May. She's, a very hypersexual lesbian in this movie. Go Pride. The thing with May is, she is a loner, she's socially awkward, she doesn't have any real friends. As a kid growing up, it was like the first day of school, her mom was getting her dressed, and when they arrive at the school for her mom to drop her off, her mom's adjusting an eye patch over one of May's eyes because she has a lazy eye. So her mom tells her to keep it covered, and she pulls some hair from behind her ear and uses it to shield the eye patch so people can't see it. So May's mom, she scurries off, she walks away, and May walks up, and then the children approach her, and one of the little boys asks her if she's a pirate, because she has an eye patch, and May put the hair behind her ear because she didn't really care that she had to wear the eye patch at that time. And so when the boy asks her that question, she says no, and the kids all look defeated, and then they walk away. And then May is left alone, and she covers her eye patch back up with her hair. And fast forward, it's her birthday. There's no kids at the party, it's just May and her mother. And May's mother is clearly like a toxic type A type of person. She says to May, if you can't find a friend, you can make one. And she gives May a present, and May, logically goes to open the gift and undo the wrapping paper. Her mom's like, oh, it's ruined, as if there's a wrong way to open gifts, girl, bye. But anyway, the father is visibly irritated, but he doesn't say anything. Her mom finishes opening the gift for May, and it's revealed to be a doll, and the doll is in this glass case, and her mother tells her that it's the first doll that she ever made, and May is so excited. She's giddy. She reaches for the handle on the door that opens the case, and her mom freaks out a little bit. She's like, no. She doesn't come out. She's special. She has to stay in the box. So May now has this best friend who she cannot touch. She cannot physically touch. She cannot hold them. They cannot hold her. It's already an inanimate object. On top of that, she can't even have physical contact with it. So we fast forward some decades later, and that's where we, catch up what I guys told you about May. Her only friend at this point is Susie the doll, and May desperately wants human connection with someone else. She wants a friend. She wants a home skillet biscuit. She wants to interact with people. She's been seeing this guy, not seen going out, but visibly she's noticed this guy. He's a mechanic. He works around the same area as the animal hospital, and she's telling Susie about him, and basically she forms a crush on him. But the thing we see with May is her interactions with people, because she's been pretty much a loner, what we can assume her whole entire life, and has had no friends. She has no understanding of how to properly pursue relationships with people, rather platonic or romantic. And it's seen multiple times throughout the film where she's awkward. And upon her first meeting with the guy she has a crush on, his name is Adam, she doesn't actually meet him. Goes to a coffee shop that I'm assuming he frequents, and she gets all dressed up with the outfit that she makes because she's tried on a bunch of clothes and nothing is working. So she makes something that is the perfect fit for her. If you can't find something, you make something. That's gonna be a reoccurring thing within this movie. She makes the outfit, she gets all dressed up, she's at the coffee shop, she sees the guy. He's very very much entrenched in whatever it is he's doing. He's like reading a book, and May's thinking that just looking at him is gonna will his way to see her. He's not noticing her, so she gets up, she saunters over, or tries to saunter over. She tries to do her best Jessica Rabbit, but it's so awkward. She clearly just has had no experience in the romantic realm, so I feel like she's kind of just putting on what she thinks an attractive woman would do to get a man's attention, and it's not working. Pretty much has zero awareness that this woman is here sauntering and, you know, displaying herself in front of him. He doesn't notice at all, and she's like all defeated. She tries to plop a sugar cube in her coffee all seductively, still doesn't work. She's defeated. She goes back to her seat, and Adam falls asleep while he's reading the book. But while he falls asleep like with his head down, but his hand is still up like this. So May goes up to him and she starts nuzzling her face into his hand because she believes he has beautiful hands. She's obsessed with him. And the man wakes up quite calm for someone who wakes up with someone having their hand in their face and you have no idea who they are. So she gets startled and falls back onto the ground, and he doesn't say anything, and he's not even being like super judgmental. He's kind of just curious as to what's just happened, but surprisingly he's very calm and doesn't react in a negative way that this woman is just all up in his space and doesn't even know him. But May falls back, she's embarrassed, she goes off and walks away. That's one of the first instances we see where May doesn't get boundaries, she doesn't understand it, and she just clearly wants to be close to someone, but she's not really being successful in navigating that. And we see that all throughout the movie where she's awkward and goes beyond boundaries that are not normal. She's trying to be a person that she thinks these people would want her to be so that they'll accept her, so that they'll like her. She goes too far and it ends up becoming awkward. It ends up becoming cringe. It ends up making the people around her feel uncomfortable. It happens with Polly. Things don't really work out with Adam. It happens with this horrific scene, in my opinion, is one of the most horrifying scenes in horror movies. May starts volunteering at this school that helps to assist blind children. Saw them in the park, and I guess she could see a kinship in one of the girls because she was off on her lonesome, which I'm assuming, you know, May clearly can identify with because growing up she was always alone. So the little girl was like a catalyst to her wanting to volunteer and help to take care of the kids. And there's one day where May does a kind of show and tell, and she brings Susie in as show and tell, and she lets them know, hey, this is my best friend. And of course the children cannot see, so she's telling them to guess what it is. And so they're trying to feel the box and figure it out, and one of the little girls basically starts an ambush on May and the doll case because they really desperately want to know what it's in there. And May is freaking out like, no, she can't come out, she's special, she stays in the box. And these kids are literally struggling with this woman for the case. The teacher was in the room with them. I'm like, someone should have intervened and been like, this woman said no, you can't touch the box, like y'all need to back it up a bit. Like, she said no, relax. But no one intervenes until it's far too late. They're playing tug of war with the case Susie is in, and the glass box that she's in falls to the ground, and there's glass everywhere. And one of the little girls shouts out, "It's out!" And it's all happening in slow motion. The kids begin to reach down to try and get whatever it is that's fallen out of the box, or out of the case, I should say. And May is telling them no, like trying to stop them because there is shards of glass everywhere. And the teacher sees, oh my gosh, this is about to be a catastrophe. She runs to go to try to, you know, save the children from themselves, and she trips over a chair. I don't know why she just couldn't stand up, but she trips over the chair, and then that's that. So the kids are all on the ground, basically sifting through the glass. Their arms are being cut, their legs, their knees, they are getting sliced and diced. It is crazy. It's one of the most terrifying scenes in a horror movie. it's horrifying because you have these, they're already children, which already makes it incredibly like uncomfortable. And on top of that, they cannot see, so they're being cut. And I'm sure like they assume it's glass, but they don't really understand what's going on. And so it's just so sad. And they're pulling after Susie and they tear her apart. And May's freaking out. There's blood everywhere. And May's scratching her eyes and glass is getting her eyes. And it's literally a freaking mess. And on top of that, they have like the best, I think, some of the best musical scores in this movie, because it's like eerie and creepy, but a little quirky, kind of like May. The music is very like Danny Elfman-esque for like a Tim Burton film or something, which is it's nice. It goes well with the vibe of the movie. So that, as you can hear, was an absolute disaster. It could have not gone any worse unless someone actually, kick the bucket, but it was quite bad. So May is 100% like on her own. Things didn't work out with Adam. Things didn't work out with Polly. Things didn't work out with the kids. So she's on her lonesome, and she basically decides that she's going to make a friend, because this guy that she meets at a bus stop one day comes over to her and he's trying to befriend her, and he asks her what's wrong, and she's outside looking around at the people, and she's saying, "Lots of perfect parts, but no perfect wholes." And he's like, "Oh, that's deep." And May, again, as we know, has this negative idea of perfectionism that's been like ingrained in her DNA thanks to her mom. And the guy can kind of see that she looks lonely. He can feel, you can tell like he's trying to be sympathetic to this person that he met who seems kind of down. So he offers to ask her like, "Hey, do you want to go and get jujubes with me?" Super cute and super innocent, like a really sweet way to approach someone. And May's kind of standoffish, but he's like, "Oh, I was just trying to be nice." So they do end up getting jujubes, but they end up at May's house, which, first of all, why are we inviting complete strangers to our houses? Like, you just met this man. He could be he could be so many things. Like, you're inviting this whole new person into your space, which just goes to show you how desperate she is for companionship to let a literal stranger into her home. So he's there chilling, eating the jujubes. And he's like, "Oh, it's super hot in here. It's super hot. It's super hot." He asks if he can take off his shirt, which I'm like, mind you, the shirt is like mesh. It has holes in it. Like, how much more skin do you need to show? Like, you're literally ventilated. But anyway, I digress. So he's still feeling hot. So he asks if he can get some ice cubes. He makes his way to the freaking freezer. And inside the freezer, he opens this up and bang, 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 boom. There is a furry friend that was given to May from Polly, who May, she took out because she felt rejected by the kitty cat. And she ended up, ending its life and sending the cat to the upper room. And the guy is justifiably so freaked out when he sees this cat inside of the freezer. And he's like, "WTF, what is this?" And then May, again, not understanding social cues, not understanding boundaries, basically not understanding how to interact with another human being. She asks this man, "Are we best friends?" And I'm like, "Oh, sweet baby. Girl, you don't get it, do you?" He does what I feel like is an understandable response, but also not the smartest one to make in the situation that he's in. Understandably, he freaks out and says, "No, we're not best friends." And he's being super combative with her in his tone, which again, understandable. You go into someone's freezer and you see a deceased animal in there. Understandably to be freaked out, understandable to have disdain towards this person that you just met. But if it was me, and I'm in someone's house who I just met them, first of all, it's not going to happen, but I just met them on the side of the street at the bus stop, and I'm back at their house, and I'm in their freezer, and I see a kitty cat who is frozen, no Elsa, and my response when this person asks me, "Are we best friends?" is going to be like, "Yeah, girl, we are like this. We are home skillet biscuits. We're cool." Because clearly this is someone who has some mental opportunities. This is clearly someone who is not completely connected in their mind, and I'm not about to tick them off, because we all know the first signs of someone being, a taker-outer is hurting animals. So I would have played it cool and be like, "Oh yeah, girl, of course we're best friends." And girl, actually, what I'm gonna do is I can tell that you clearly were going through something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the store and get you some candles, because you know it could be smelling up in here a little bit. So I'm about to go help you out, and I'm about to go get these candles, and you know we'll come back and we'll kiki and we'll vibe and we'll just hang out. That's what I would do. I'm not about to freak out on someone who literally has another living being, but he freaks out, and you know he doesn't think that way, which again, I'm sure in the moment your mind's probably going a million miles a minute thinking about so many different things. He freaks out. May feels rejected for the final and last time and picks up a pair of sewing scissors and stabs him directly into the head. Just dead, bullseye. May has then decided that she is going to take all these parts of people she's interacted with. Adam has the perfect hands that she loves. Polly has the perfect neck that she loves. The girl that Polly ends up like, you know, hooking up with has the perfect legs. The guy who's found her cat has the perfect arms for her. So she's gonna collect all these people and build her own best friend, make her own best friend. And she does this on Halloween night. She gets dressed up, does her makeup, and she goes out and takes out everyone, all these different people, to create the perfect best friend. And she does accomplish this. At the end of the movie, she builds this person with the parts of the people that she's ended, and there's something missing. There's something not happening, and that is that the friend she's created cannot see her. And she realizes what in her mind she feels she has to do. So she goes to the mirror and she gets some scissors and she proceeds to stab her own eye and take her eye out. And clearly in searing, agonizing pain. It is not good. It is not good at all. And while she's walking to her creation, she's holding the eye and still crying and screaming in pain. And you can see her eye is like swole. The eye socket is like protruding. It's red. It's not even red. It's like a deep, like a burgundy. Clearly not good. Clearly it's already forming. An infection is already happening up in this woman's eye. It's not good. I mean, we already know nothing's good. She's taking out multiple people, but it looks rough. It is very rough. It is a rough thing to look at. So she puts her one eye onto her creation and she's pleading and pining with this thing she's made to see her. And she's just lying there, still crying, still in pain. And then we see an arm of the creature lift up and go over and begin to caress May on her arm. And then she has this smile, like this smirk of satisfaction on her face, and the movie ends. And that is May of 2002. Those are just some of the little highlights for y'all. Definitely go watch it. It is an awesome movie that tackles like this idea of severe loneliness in people with the element of horror mixed in there, and also perfectionism. If you like Carrie, or if you like Black Swan, you'll probably like this movie too, because it touches on not the same, but kind of similar topics. And it's a great movie to watch in October too, because the film, it takes place in October. Early on in the movie, Polly's carving out a pumpkin. So people don't talk about this movie a lot. I feel like for Halloween, it'd be like the perfect movie. It literally takes place in October, and the main events take place on Halloween night. So definitely check out May. It's 100% one of my absolute favorite movies since I was a kid. I don't know if I mentioned this to y'all before, but I've been watching horror movies since I was like 4 years old. Why I was allowed to, I don't know. You gotta take that up with mother and father. I don't know. But I was very much watching horror movies since I was a kid. Always loved them, always been drawn to them, always had an affinity for them. I don't know why. I just always like the macabre. I like spooky things. I like scary things. It's just something that's always interested me. And May was definitely one of those movies that I was always watching. It used to come on, I remember, in the 2000s on some movie channel, like all the time. Whenever it was on, I was sitting there, seated, watching it. That is all for this first installment of Freaky Fridays with me, Skyy Explains It All. If you like this video, like it. If you're enjoying the content I make here, please subscribe. I very much so love to have you here. Let's say 1 like equals a friend for May, so she doesn't go off the complete rails and, you know, end up going on a spree. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I have to return some videotapes. Bye guys!